West Midlands is the second largest city in England that has an estimated population of over 1 million. A small town in the medieval period, Birmingham grew to be a happening city in the early 18th century. Historians say it was the Industrial Revolution that created Birmingham as a populous city. Home to a large multi-ethnic population, Birmingham's contribution to the national economy is through the multi-service sector. March for Life is a national yearly event that is now in its third year. The event is a pro-life rally that is a celebration of the pro-life message. It was a historic day in the city of Birmingham, with thousands of people gathering to support March for Life, organised by pro-life activists of the UK. This year's March for Life officially began with the devotions to Our Lady of Guadalupe, the protector of the unborn, in St Chad's Cathedral, Birmingham, on the 13th of May 2016. On the 14th of May, the tradition was followed. By 11:45 a.m, Victoria Square was filled with people. A mercy bus offering faithful assistance and confession was parked adjacent to the square. Priests, nuns, seminarians, lay people, and the families with children adorned Victoria Square at the heart of the city centre. Compared to last year's event, this year's attendees of March for Life were mostly the youth from England and even as far as Scotland, Wales and Ireland. Slogans and chants such as "Life from conception, no exception" echoed across the town centre and streets, creating awareness of the hurt and damage abortion can cause was the focal point of the gathering and the rally that followed.
I was involved in 40 Days for Life. I run 40 Days for Life in Birmingham, which is peaceful prayer outside an abortion clinic. And we decided that we needed a midway event for 40 Days for Life. So we just had a little march through Birmingham city centre. There was about 100 of us. And then we realised that we didn't need to be affiliated to any particular pro-life organisation. We wanted something separate. So we've now united all the different pro-life groups in the UK. On one day, we all come together and we all join in this huge witness, which is here today.
Some of the key speakers of the event are well-known writer and faculty at Blackstone Legal Fellowship, Stephanie Gray, Brian Bombaja, founder of the Radiance Foundation, David McGough, the Auxiliary Bishop of Birmingham, Bishop Emmanuel Badejo of Nigeria, and the author Michelle Quigley. The event witnessed testimonies of people who became aware of the value of life, of which the most striking was Sophie, a young woman's determination of keeping her baby and saying no to abortion.
My abortion was booked for the following Tuesday. As I was coming back through town, I saw a lot of people marching, and I saw that blue banner over there. It's not a choice, it's a life. It's a baby, sorry. And I walked towards... Thank you. I walked towards the march, and I bumped into a woman there. It was Bernadette, who's holding my son over there. And she explained to me what the March for Life was. And I joined the rest of the march, and we met up back around the corner from here, and I listened to some of the speeches and I spoke to some people, and I left. I still had it in my head that I was due to have an abortion that week. I got home, and the first thing I did when I got home, I called BPAS and I cancelled my abortion. Who was here at last year's March for Life? Please show me. Riley is here because of all of you. Thank you so much.
Life of conception! Well done, Sophie! It should surely be a celebration of life. The greatest gift that any of us has is the gift of life itself. We struggle throughout our lives to live life to the full, and we sometimes mess it up. But that life is so precious, and it is God's gift to each one of us from the very first moment of conception to the last moment of our lives, to be cherished, to be loved, to be safeguarded. And above all else, we need not only to speak about the issues concerning conception and the safety of the child in the womb, but through love, to create a world in which, despite the struggles we all face, it is a world in which there is the love to cherish and care for those children, where we build up families full of love, where children are welcome. I know it's easy to say that, but all of us, or most of us, have been blessed by that love at some time. So God bless you all.
So for many years, I've been teaching people pro-life apologetics and relying a lot on science and philosophy to defend the pro-life view. But in the more recent years, what I came to see are there's some people I presented reasonable arguments to who didn't seem to receive them. They would build up a wall. And I started to discover their problem wasn't so much an intellectual one, it was one of the heart. I often found there was woundedness in the lives of the people that I was dialoguing with on college campuses. And oftentimes, if they didn't have abortions, their loved ones had abortions. And so what I started to see is it's not just about winning the argument, it's about winning the person. And the abortion supporter needs to see that I love and care for them as much as I love and care for preborn children. And so when they are loved by pro-lifers, then suddenly it unleashes a life in them, a greater joy and a greater willingness to receive the arguments that eventually we're going to propose.
The killing of innocent infants in the womb, the murdering of such a helpless life, is seen as a barbaric act. Many attendees who spoke to us at the Shalom TV said,
I'm from Bournemouth, and I came here with my family because I really want to make women aware that there is another option than abortion, and to sort of get rid of the myth that a baby isn't a baby inside the womb. It's really sad that abortion even happens.
I was brought up as a Catholic, and I've always been a Catholic, so I've been brought up with the concept that life is sacred. Every unborn child is a child of God. So I'm here just to defend the unborn, to defend the defenseless, basically. And I hope that, you know, the pro-life message will grow and continue to grow, and that we help women to see that and understand that as well.
I'm from the University of Birmingham Catholic Society, study history and theology. So through the Catholic Society, I found out about this event. So it's a great event. There's loads of different people here from different groups. Great atmosphere. As from a motivation, I'd say it's definitely my faith. I've always been a Catholic. I've always been in the church. And I believe that not only does abortion hurt the child, but it also hurts the mother. It hurts those around it. It's a wound that only through love can heal. So this event is here to show love. It's to show love for those who are hurting and those who have been hurt, and so that we can all come closer to God.
The rise in anti-abortion protests in the UK and Wales has increased in recent years. The protesters, who sometimes hold placards with graphic imagery outside abortion clinics, is not a strange scene these days. Defending the unborn is the image anti-abortion activists carry on their shoulders.
I mean, one of the most beautiful testimonies is one we've heard today from Sophie, who witnessed the March for Life last year, and because of that she kept her baby, even though she had an abortion planned. Just witnessing the joy of people who really believed the pro-life message and lived it. But I know in other personal testimonies as well, people have actually come on the March for Life. I know one young woman who was telling me that she was really struggling with depression, and even though she was pro-life, she realised that actually she wasn't pro-life about her own life. And coming on the March for Life helped her recognise the value not just of other people's lives and of unborn babies' lives, but of her own life and how valuable that was, particularly in the eyes of God.
For us to consider every single human life as having purpose and having intrinsic value, but that's really the only position to take, because who are we to be the arbiters of human value, to say that this group of human beings has a certain amount of worth, that group of human beings has a different amount of worth. So let's err on the side of saying every human life has equal, irreplaceable intrinsic value. And we're seeing it in our culture, societies that embrace the lie that somehow certain human life isn't as equal as others. And so what ends up happening is that natural consequence is that there's discrimination and there's destruction that follows. That is the consequence when we decide that we're the arbiters of human value.
It is so important that people of goodwill gather together because we respect how precious human life is, and that it begins at the moment of conception and it carries all the way through to a natural end to life. It worries me that we can become a little throwaway. If people are not serving a purpose, then they're no longer valued, and that saddens me. As Christians, as Catholics, we look upon every person as made in the image and likeness of God, loved by God, precious to God, loved therefore by us, and precious to us. It's so good to be here with people of all ages, but so many young people. They will carry that message of how precious human life is on way beyond me, and that's encouraging.
The idea of the urgency of this, because we've grown up in a culture where we start to see that, abortion is just part of the culture. You don't question it really. So helping them understand and become aware of these important issues. So the first step is awareness, education, helping them find out what is what's their obligation. And we're not so much really forming activists, because actually what we've been telling them is we're not going down there to be activists. We're going down there as Catholics. Innocent life is not able to be taken. No one has a choice in the matter. It's a moral evil. And because a moral evil is happening, we as Catholics have a grave obligation to go down and just give witness.
March for Life in the UK has gained a lot of popularity in the last 2 years, as abortion has become more of an act of cruelty, even in the secular media.
We strive to bring the mercy of God to people, however they might need that. Specifically in the pro-life movement, we have sisters who are social workers who work with different organizations that help women who are post-abortive. But I think as a Sister of Mercy, our goal is to kind of live our cross, which I can explain to you. So the white of our cross is the mercy of God. and it's found in the center of the black, which represents the misery of mankind. And where they cross and meet each other, that convergence point of God's mercy and man's misery, is where we encounter Christ. And so as sisters, we strive to be that point. So that could be for a woman who might be seeking help before she was looking for an abortion, and we can be there to bring God's mercy to her, or after. Our sisters working in healthcare work to do natural family planning or other options for women who may be struggling to conceive even. And then in education, just bringing Christ into all that we do. Because if someone knows Christ and knows the church, then they can have the resources that they need that would help them to not choose to abort their child. Because the church has everything that we need to support us in all that we might do.
And we're going to share our joy. So we're going to have a couple of different chants, some that you pick up on the way, and one or two that we'll teach you now. Is that okay? Yes. So one is going to be, we are marching for the cause of life. We are marching for the cause of life. Together. We are marching for the cause of life. We are marching for the cause of life. We are marching, oh, we are marching for the cause of life. Okay? Pro, life. I say pro, you say life. Pro, life. Pro, life.
When we saw it today, there was a lady who was just here, and the impact for her means that she has a child now that she wouldn't have had if we weren't here. So the impact is real, it's tangible. It just means that people get a chance at life, which everyone deserves. And it also means that we can share the gospel, because the gospel is about life, but life to the full that comes through Jesus Christ.
First of all, I am happy to claim to belong to the pro-life movement. And I really think every Christian is essentially a pro-lifer, unless they don't know it. Because how could you claim to love God or love Christ and not be pro-life? Because Christ came to give life and to give it to the full, so that everybody may have life. I became a pro-lifer from my family. My parents always wanted to save some life. They wanted to help someone, help some child. And we had such a great time bringing everybody into the family. There was always space for one more. There was always food for someone more. And I think that is a Christian spirit, the charity of Christ, the mercy of God, who always welcomes his children. Today in Nigeria, I'm glad that the pro-life movement is actually growing. There have been very many groups who have been working separately for many years, giving comfort to women who have crisis pregnancies, under teenage pregnancies and stuff like that, and helping them to find space for their children and to find sustenance for the mothers, and to educate the children, the young people, that what they hear on TV and on radio and in the adverts are not always true. Because the abortion lobby, the contraception lobby, and in short, the culture of death is full of falsehood and half stories. And people need to be told the truth. I have come to see that in the pro-life movement, the young people in Nigeria are the most vigorous. We had a pro-life conference last year, and there were over 1,000 young people on the streets, exuberantly singing and telling the whole world that they believe in life. And they want to live that life because God gives life. And I think there's even more. Not just that God is the author of life, but God is in every life.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on our website, so we're asking people to keep involved with us and connect with us on social media, on Facebook and Twitter and things, because the idea isn't that we just do something for one day a year. We want people to get involved. This is just the start for people. There's loads of different pro-life organisations out there. People can find out where their talents and skills lie and to use those for the glory of God in defending the unborn child. So go on our website and connect with us and find out where you can get involved. That's what we really want for people.
Groups like March for Life defend the rights of the unborn. They shout aloud for the bare minimum request of the innocents who are killed without mercy, and thus making one of the 10 Commandments active in human life. Thou shalt not kill.
Rejoice, we do it.